PMP exam solo and group study tips. If you're studying for the PMP exam, without a doubt, you've come across individuals who are doing the same and you want to join forces and study as a group. The first thing you want to do is have some ground rules. Rule number one, everyone facilitates at least one area or a group of processes every week. Two, no one facilitates 2 days in a row in a large group. So if we're talking about 5 people, at least there should be someone to pick up for the next day. Number three, everyone contributes and respects the time box allocated per process. No excuses. 4, use the Elmo clause. Enough, let's move on. It's very possible to talk about the knowledge area for hours on end, but if you have a time box, you should respect it and move on. Number 5, do not carry over areas. So if you get to the end of the day, ensure that you fix that knowledge area so that you are ending on a good note for people to go back and do more research, but don't carry over the days because it will mess up the schedule I'm about to show you. Number 6, everyone comes prepared. Everyone comes prepared to contribute. Everyone comes prepared to facilitate. Everyone comes prepared for stuff to happen that was not planned. Number 7, respect the general time box. We all have lives, personal study and commitments outside PMP, so we cannot spend our entire day, our entire evening doing nothing but PMP. That's the reality of what we do. We all need to study personally to get the best from each episode. If all you're doing is meeting as a group and not spending time to study on your own, you will be shortchanged. How can one study on one's own? There are a number of things you should be thinking about. PMBOK guide, process groups and knowledge areas, processes, models, methods, artifacts, ITTOs, situational questions, drag and drop, select all that apply, choose more than one, fill in the blanks. And I often tell people, if you have had a less than ideal experience, make sure you use the PMP exam failure stamp out page where you study all of the information. Also, the content outline for the new exam, believe it or not, it's been around for a long time. It's going to 3 years now. That's right. Came out 2020. So contrary to what a lot of people think, it didn't come out in 2021. It actually was around since 2020. You need to look at that content outline for your exam, the current exam, and make sure you close the gaps. Now, in addition to the PMBOK guide, it's very important that you remember the Agile practice guide. The Agile practice guide is going to help you solidify your understanding of hybridization. Moving on, if you are just starting out and you feel you need a rhythm, some sort of cadence for your studying so that you keep the momentum going, I want you to look into the free solution right here on YouTube. It's called 40 Days to PMP Exam Success. There's a video every day. All you need to do is watch the video and answer the questions at the end. Whatever you do, watch a video a day. Stay on point. If you get to a point where there are not enough videos, watch some videos on this channel associated with that topic. For example, let's say you're studying conflict. Just do a search, Praizion conflict, or you're studying scope, Praizion scope. Whatever you do, just keep the momentum going for 40 days. There's also a curriculum on our website. I'll try to put a link below so that you can see the 40-day breakdown. Next, read the Immersion book. So the Immersion book is at the center of this 40-day curriculum. You can get the Immersion book and just keep studying that chapter every day. Chapter 1, chapter 2, it's very well laid out. So the first 35 days, you're pretty much studying a chapter a day. There are quizzes at the end of the chapter. Make sure you focus. If you're going for a second round of studying, you could change it around to a knowledge area day, for example. But let's jump into what you would do after studying the people, process, business, all those domains, the tasks, and the enablers. Assuming you are done with all of that, go for this approach to studying. And this is especially for some of our students, because I know you're getting to the end of the 40 days. So to go to the next level, have some predictive and agile discussions as a group once you're done with the immersion. Maybe on Monday, you could do integration, scope, schedule. Tuesday, cost, quality, resources. Wednesday, communication, risk, procurement. Thursday, you could do stakeholder. And you could also on Friday work on Scrum. So on Friday, you could do the 3-5-3, right? Or maybe you can fit it into Thursday since you're only doing stakeholder, whatever works for you. But the bottom line is that on Friday, you should be hitting 180 question mock exam. So carve time out, be intentional about it, and fix the day to take the mock exam. There are 2 mock exams on our learning system. So make sure you take at least one. So this is the first round, right? You can have a second round where you study out of order. You don't have to study in this order. Now, I want to give you some ideas about questions that you should be asking each other every time you meet to discuss knowledge areas. This is only going to make it richer for everyone. So do follow this format and keep to a time box where you can fit everything in, okay? Maybe you divide and conquer. For this to work, each team member should facilitate a knowledge area or close to a knowledge area. The main thing is everyone should be a contributor and not an onlooker to get the most from study. So first of all, coming into this, make sure you're able to chart out page 25. Know it cold before the meeting because you need this, okay? Secondly, explain this knowledge area. Maybe you're tackling integration, for example. So discuss integration briefly. These are things you should already know, right? So don't spend too much time on it. A 1-minute breakdown of the knowledge area is good enough from anyone. Just one person. We don't need to go around the entire room. One person explain the knowledge area, right? Then somebody read aloud how this knowledge area is viewed in the world of Agile. So someone should open up the Agile practice guide. I'm not saying explain. This time I'm very specific because PMI's world of how Agile and knowledge areas work is very unique. So open up the Agile practice guide and look for the account of integration, for example, and let someone read the entire thing. And everyone listen, take notes, observe, let it sink in, right? Number 4, ask the question, which ceremonies, artifacts, and roles in Agile are most closely associated with this knowledge area, integration, for example, and its processes? And then one person can answer this question, right? We don't need so many. Someone who knows it should answer it, right? Number 5, what is the role of the product owner, servant leader, scrum master, and cross-functional team in this knowledge area? Keep it brief, go straight to the point. We're not looking for every single person to answer the question. We want one person who knows this knowledge area to comment, one person who knows what is being asked to be the person to speak. And then if someone has any additions, they can add that, okay? Next, what are the processes in this knowledge area? This is where you go into develop project charter, develop project management plan, so on and so forth. Explain in most basic form what you're doing in each process. Again, I don't expect more than 2 minutes to cover all the processes. These are memory joggers. Let me give you an example. Develop project management plan is where we authorize the project and create the project charter. Develop project charter is where the project manager is authorized to apply resources to the project. I'm sorry if I misspoke. I can't remember if I did. Develop project management plan is where the project management plan is built. Direct to manage project work is where the work is being executed in an integrative way and ensuring that the deliverables, work performance data, and issue log are generated. Manage project knowledge is where we generate lessons learned and create the lesson learned register, which will be updated throughout the project. Monitor and control project work is where we are monitoring all the moving parts on the project and integrating them and creating a work performance report by assembling all the work performance information. Perform integrated change control is where we are checking these requests that come in, analyzing the requests, reviewing the requests, and sending the analysis on to a change control board if there is one. And if not, maybe the project manager, the project sponsor, or whoever is designated will approve, reject, put on hold, or pending status these change requests and updating the change log. Close project or phase is where we're closing out the project or phase in the project. We get final product, service, or result transition. Boom, 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 quick, quick, quick. So Please don't go off on a rabbit trail for these processes. Everyone should have already come in with an awareness. This is really just a nudge in the right direction for those who may not be paying enough attention. Explain the unique things you get from doing this process. I already did it all in one. So within 5 minutes, I expect you've reviewed the knowledge area, you've gone through the most important things about that knowledge area, and you move on. Okay, for questions 7 and 8. Number 9, explain how you would use any of these major outputs you get. The project charter is an input to many processes because when you're planning the project, it's the first and only thing that you have that you could use to build on. So when you're planning, you don't have any of the baselines yet. So on your first go round, you have your charter, you flesh it out into other things, other plans across schedule, cost, scope, and all the other knowledge areas. That's how I need you to be thinking. Explain how you would use any of these major outputs. Next, do they go to another process management or OPA? So do they go to another project management process? Do they go to senior management? Do they become an organizational process asset? Comment on that. For example, project management plan is something that the team continues to use in every single process after the develop project management plan process, right? So apart from develop project charter and develop project management plan, your project management plan is used everywhere else. For example, things like that. You don't need to go through every possibility, keep it high level, just understand the general flow, okay? Remember, study groups do not replace good old studying on your own. When you get done with each process, what is something you could do next? And I want you to think about this because not every process on the exam is going to be linked to processes in its knowledge area. You get what I'm saying? We could have a question that links schedule to cost, or a question that links cost to scope, for example. So it is important that you know how everything fits together just to make sure you are able to answer all those situational questions. Many of these questions have little direction to just knowledge areas. Some of them bridge knowledge areas, and that's really what I'm after. All right. Now, in closing, round 2 of predictive and agile discussions could look something like this. Hone in on the most pressing areas. So we've gone through all of the knowledge areas by this time in round 1, okay? The next question is, what did we find most challenging? Do that for round 2. And then when you're done with the second week, do the mock exam. Rinse, repeat. If you are on a 1-month adventure, then what I'm looking for you to do this, okay? But remember, before you get here, I need you to have gone through all of the chapters in the immersion book so that you're solid. And by the time you're getting to this final review, you already have great substance. You are able to speak to stuff. You're not lost. You're not saying, I don't know what Kanban is. What do you mean by keep process policies explicit? What do you mean by that? You're not asking that kind of question. You're not asking what is 353. You're not asking what is WIP. You know this stuff going in. All right. If you are struggling in your prep, my friend, and you need help, you need to go on down to our website. It's Praizion.com. At Praizion.com, you can get coaching, training, mentoring, classes, one-on-ones. Just look at all the options on the website. Because what I see is a lot of people struggling to do it alone. And that's not the best way for many people. Many people need help, but perhaps not knowing where to go, they do it all alone. Don't do it all alone. All right. There's support, there's help. I hope this helps guide you. And make sure you send it to any study group, any of your friends that's in a study group. Hopefully this can help them get direction. A lot of times it's just the optimization of a really good group of people that's already in place. So hopefully this will give you some ideas. Take care, my friends. And don't forget, 40 days to PMP exam success. It's free. I'm going to put a link below. Make sure you tune in. One more thing before I forget. If you haven't subscribed to pmradio.org, do so as well, because this will give you another support system. It's a podcast, and weekly I post PMP related content. So you might be on the road without your books, without any of the material, and you might just feel, oh, I need to dial into some PMP stuff. Go to pmradio.org. Okay, pmradio.org will help you. Take care, my friends, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.